Rimworld. Today in Rimworld, I want to try something. There have been many videos on empires, militaries, drug cartels, and liquor. But what about the simpler things? What if, perhaps, somebody wanted to make an honest living? Yes, my friends, today we shall figure it out. Today, I have rolled a random industry, and it is... agriculture. Mankind's ascent into a civilization, the backbone of many economies and many lifestyles. Agriculture moves up the chain and permits progress. Of course, if we're going to make an agricultural company, we're going to need, a farmer. But before we get into the actual establishing of our agricultural empire, I'm going to have to set some ground rules. So, let us deal with our new industry and establish some rules. See it? See the rules? Alright, let's go over them. 1. I can only have one customized pawn at the start of a playthrough. This means I cannot have more than one pawn, but that pawn is specialized in the industry we want to make. This gives us a chance of survival on this rim. 2. I cannot make any significant amounts of money in other industries, so no selling any amounts of any other asset. It means no selling drugs, wood, metals, or other items for more than 100 silver. This is to keep me honest and make sure all the money I'm getting is from agriculture. 3. Every action must be justified by a company need, else it is not allowed. So no establishing anything random. It must be justified by the company's need. So no uniforms means there should be sewing, but no other clothes but the uniforms. Military must be for security, but no raiding others. 4. Only use fluid basic ideology for colony. Companies are always evolving, but our core has to stay the same. This is the starting scenario for this playthrough. So it's just one person, a little bit of silver, a little bit of components, and some other extra stuff. Again, we don't want too much stuff because it's still got to be a little bit of a challenge. But to start off, this is pretty decent. Our ideology is of the Grand Farm. And I showed a little bit beforehand when we were talking about the rules for the scenario, where I showed the fluid ideology. This is what we'll be going through, but over the playthrough, I'll show how we change it and what we will do with it. So this is our main guy, Rick Collum. Rick Collum is 34, and he believes in the Grand Farm Company. He used to be a crop farmer until he left his old colony. He's iron-willed, a fast walker, and workaholic. Traits he'll need if we want to actually have a chance at making a good company. Of course, he specializes in plants, with subsects in construction, social, intellectual, and a little bit of shooting. Everything else, though, is mediocre or non-existent. He's also chronologically 2,781 years old, which I don't know how that happened. I'd assume in his old colony he got out of a cryostasis pod and then joined up, but I guess actually that makes sense for the medieval plower. Anyway, this is our main guy, and let's see where Collum lands. Now, as we load into the world, alright, this run is already onto a terrible, terrible start. Collum starts near this rocky outcropping, right next to that stupid mature flesh beast. Seriously, if you were to talk about a big red flag or a bad omen, that thing's the omen. But we can't mind it. There's a patch of fertile ground down south, so our protagonist heads down there. He immediately gets to work, building something to live in. Now let's address some company needs. 1, we need employees. 2, we need storehouses. 3, we need facilities. 4, we need barracks. And 5, we need uniforms. How we're going to get that? We're going to have to figure that out. By the end of the first day, Colm gets in his bed and goes to sleep. Now it was time to decide what crop I'd want to specialize in. Currently, with all my mods along with the base plants, I have a lot of options. But I did narrow it down to 3 picks. Pumpkins, which both will never have a botched harvest, and when fully grown can be harvested for 19 units. Pumpkins can go for about $1.51, not counting the trader's actual buying price. That means pumpkins would be a viable option, but there's more. Corn was also an option, at 21 per yield with a price of $1.11. Again, not accounting for trader price, but does give more units than pumpkins. Both are incredible options, but I decided to use one of the most classic agricultural staples as my company's first plant: wheat. Wheat, once harvested at its full growth, produces 26 units of flour at nearly $2. This will be our ticket to success in the room. Yeah, also that flesh beast keeps roaming around Column's house. I really don't know what to do about it. All Column has is a bolt-action rifle, and I have no trap set up, so I don't think I could bait it out to kill it. So we're just going to have to hope it doesn't attack Column. The first couple days were just spent getting the cabin up and getting the field ready. Once the field was fully grown, we'd get about 5,000 worth of silver from it. Actually, while he was setting up the field, there was an ambrosia sprout. As much as I'd want to go and harvest it and take that ambrosia, there'd be no use in it because I don't want to give it to Column and get him addicted, and I can't sell it for a lot of money because that's not our industry. So, regretfully, I just had to leave it. But now that brings us to the end of the video. I know for gameplay this one was short, but this was just to set up our random industry run. There's going to be a little gap in my next video because I'm going on a vacation. So when I get back, I'll try to start working on it, but it might be a little slower because this first video, oh, it was a pain to make. Seriously, I did this so inefficiently. But once we get back, we'll get started on our first agricultural run for Rimworld. I'll see y'all later.